Well, it's a special edition of the Rick Corey Sports Special. It's special for a lot of reasons because Christmas came early for Antonio Graham. He is now the new head football coach at Union High School. Now, we were scheduled to talk to Antonio this week anyway because of the state championship game, which we'll talk about. But then the last, I'd say 36 hours or so have been probably pretty busy for you. First of all, I understand and congratulations. And this one's a difficult thing to talk about, Antonio, I know, because Owasso gave you a great opportunity. You took that opportunity, you turned it into a state championship game appearance. And then really quickly after that, you're back kind of at your dream job at Union. Tell me how the emotions have been the last 36 or so hours.
It's been difficult. It's obviously been definitely a whirlwind. I'm still kind of piecing a lot of things together right now, and so it's kind of with me and my family. We kind of just taking it one day at a time right now.
But I know obviously he's a Union grad, a guy who was on a couple of state championship teams, an all-state
Hmm.
linebacker. You coached there. That you've got some pull in your heart for the place, don't you?
Oh, absolutely, always will. That's Union is a very, very special place to. I think that's to any alumni, and whenever you get an opportunity that presents itself that I had, you definitely got to be able to have your ears wide open and listen. And it takes lots of prayers, and it's something that you got to pray about. And so, at the end of the day, what was best for me and my family, I had to take this opportunity here at Union.
I know it's going to be a tough question, but what was that meeting like with your Owasso players?
It was tough. One of the toughest things I've ever went through in a long time. And the good thing about the kids are here, they totally understand. It's, one thing I always preach to my players is all about, faith first and then it's family
Yeah,
and your school is next after that. And it's about your brothers in the locker room. So they definitely totally understand the situation that I was in.
that's good. I mean, when you're in such contact with those guys for so long and they buy in so much to the program, but they also are people. So I would think, and especially in today's situation where they hear about NIL and what's best for people, that maybe they have a better perspective today.
Yeah, I think so. It's not the best perspective, because of the crap that they see in the news and on social media and things like that. But I think the biggest thing that I preach, no matter what program I'm in, you always got to do what's best for your family, and that's kind of the biggest thing you got to do as a man. That's part of your responsibility and stuff like that. But I think in today's society and what kids look at and what they read and what they see with their eyes, that's what the norm is to them. So I can kind of agree with that, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, there's just something there. Not that I agree with you. There's a downside to all that stuff, but it
Hmm.
also lets them know that there are opportunities for everyone, and they have their own as well.
Yep.
All right, so take me inside, and I'm not going to ask you to go, blow by blow, word by word, but take me inside some of the discussions, some of the thought processes. How difficult was the eventual decision?
The biggest thing was, you know, um, it was one of those situations where, honestly, Rick, like the situation for my family and where my family is at, my wife works at school there, and so, I know at Union they take, the athletics and things like that real important, and they do here at Owasso too. They do the same, but bottom line, it just kind of came down for what's the best decision for me and my family, and so I think Owasso they know how I feel about that, and they know I'm a big family person and thing, and they understand that they would never doubt me for doing what's best for my family. And so it was one of those things that it was hard. And so we both kind of shook hands and, they wished me well.
And then they went out and hired the guy that you replaced. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
what a day in Oklahoma high school football. Were you surprised that Bill was just that quickly back in the mix?
Yeah, I was a little surprised or whatever, but I think that was a smart move by them or whatever to try to get the GOAT out of retirement. And so obviously he still has that itch, and
Yeah.
so I was kind of shocked just as much as everybody else was. And so I'm happy for him as well because I guess Angie's been making him doing so many chores around the house. So, um, I don't blame him to come out and do what he's supposed to do.
Well, I think we both know the first question he asked was to Angie, right? Because she's in charge of yes
So
or no.
she better be able to make approval of that or whatever. And so she's probably sick of Coach Blankenship being around the house and looking at him all the time. Uh, so I can understand where she's coming from too as well.
And it's also ironic. Kurt Frederick was at Owasso 1 year, Union. Owasso. Now you were at Owasso more than 1 year. He was there as a head coach for 1 year, but you were a head coach for 1 year. But your tenure at Owasso goes deeper than that. What are
Mhm.
some of the things you're going to be most proud of at the end of the day, Antonio, from Owasso?
Basically for me is that I hate kind of bringing this up, but the impact I made on this community and the relationships, and I was able to do something here at Owasso that's never been done before. And so, I one thing that I told my wife is hard as decision this was for us and us leaving, and just even it even goes back to I told her whenever we lost that football game, she was hurt. My daughter, she's balling, and I said, and me and her sat down and we talked about this. I said, listen, you got to look at the big picture. I came into a community where there's not very many minorities and things like that, and that's never been before. I took over a job where I was the first African American head coach, and I got to lead a community or help lead a community, as a minority and been well respected. And so at the end of the day, my kids and others can walk through the community and not feel, and to be normal and be respected and I felt like I bridged a huge gap within with my race and with other races, and you just saw how a community all came together and they didn't look at the skin color of your skin or anything like that. And I think that's what it's all about. We all, got created by one man above, and we don't look at each other by the skin. They look at the person in your heart, and that's what I kind of showed this town that it doesn't matter what your skin color is, what's inside. And so my kids are now, and other kids now have hope that they can come be a head coaches at a place that no one ever expects them to be at and have the confidence to do it. And so that's the big picture for me. So at the end of the day, I told her we won.
And the same thing will happen at Union. Now, there are other African American head coaches, but not in football. You'll be the first there as well. And a lot of times, Antonio, truthfully, people don't want to talk about that. And I mean, even the people in the job themselves. So having you actually be upfront about that, I think, is refreshing. But you will be the first African American coach at Union too. You get the same feeling about that?
Yeah, I just think it's a little bit of feeling that I can kind of give kids hope as well at another place. So it's just I'm able to keep opening up doors for people and just can continue to give young future head coaches and young ladies head coaches hope that this could be done. And um, I've been blessed to do it at two different places, and it's been a blessing, and it's just more kids that I can impact. If you change one kid's life, that's that's generations. And so now my thing is I can come over to to Union and change kids' lives as well. And so it's a wonderful feeling to make this happen.
I don't think people understand high school coaches. Yeah, a lot of high school coaches want to be college coaches, and I understand why. It's a step up the ladder. Most high school coaches honestly want to impact young men and young women, their lives, and that's what you're talking about here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a big deal for me. That's one reason why I wanted to be a high school coach is because I want to be able to impact these kids' lives before they get in college and be able to take some of the tools that I give them and
Mhm.
apply them to the rest of their lives.
Yeah, plus there's no transfer portal yet. They can move, they can transfer, but it's not like college because, oh my Lord, that is nuts right about now. All right, so hitting the ground running Union. Tell me some steps that you've already, now, I asked you when you first took the job at Owasso about what you were going to do there. And you said, I want to put my stamp on the program. And you did. You did that immediately. Now you come into Union where Kirk's been for 18 years. Same thing. You start even with your system. So what's that system going to be? What's ground level plan?
Man, the biggest thing is, Union always have that bring that old school swagger back. You know, Coach Fred done a heck of a job at Union, and I can be more happy. He actually gave me my first opportunity as a
Yeah.
coach, and so the best thing I can do is to honor him and do a heck of a job and bring it to a higher level, and I think that's the best way I can honor him. Rick, I'm definitely old school minded. We're going to be a well disciplined football team. We're going to be back to hard nose, bring back that Union swagger. We're going to just be play hard and tough and do what we do best. And so I think that's the biggest thing is I'm going to implement my discipline in their hardcore. And so I hope these young men are ready for it. And so, and also I'm going to come with a lot of energy as usual. And so we're going to have a good time. But, it's not about, I told you this from day one, Rick, it's not about winning ball games to me. We will be the most well-disciplined football team in the state of Oklahoma. And you can bet on that. And so I think we do the little things right, everything else will take care of itself.
I've already seen tweets from a couple of players that said, "I want this. I want us to be a more disciplined team." So I've actually seen some of that kind of buy-in, if you will, for that. Now, I know people are going to ask these questions too. You had a wonderful staff at Owasso, and I'm not going to expect you to name names, but would you think there'll be anybody joining you from there?
I sure hope so, man. We got a good thing coming here, and so Coach Blankenship gets it. One thing I learned from Coach Blankenship, you got to go find the best coaches, and so some of these coaches here are also they have good coaches there at Union as well, and so if I can get somebody to come over there with me and help preach my vision, I'm definitely going to do that. And so, but right now I'm still trying to catch my breath with everything else, and so
Yeah,
and guys understand that as well.
sure.
And right now, I'm just gonna kind of take it one day at a time, and I haven't. I still got to go over there and sign some paperwork and get some insurance stuff going, and we're gonna take it from there.
Yeah, people don't realize. Yeah, hey, you got to do the same thing the rest of us do. I mean, yeah, you know where the toilets are and all that kind of stuff, but you still got to make sure you've got your insurance in place first.
Right.
So I know because you're tied to the school, and I know because you're an emotional guy and a guy who believes. When you walk into that office for the first time as the head coach, how's that going to feel? You think?
It's gonna be. It's probably gonna feel a little weird, a little different, or whatever. Kind of like it was here. When I was here, it kind of felt weird sitting in Coach Blankenship desk, and it's definitely gonna feel weird by sitting in Coach Fred desk and Coach B's old office as well. And so, but what a great honor to have this opportunity to be, these last couple of years to be led by to take over a program that's been led by great men. And
Mhm.
so I could be more happy about anything. And so the phone calls and texts has been awesome. Today I got an awesome phone call from Justin Valente. That was pretty dang cool. And so I was very excited about him giving me a call, and we talked, and he's praying for me, he's wishing me well. And so, the excitement is very, very is very there.
Did he have any advice?
Just do what I do, baby. That's all you can do. And so, and
When
so
will you meet? Have you met with the team yet, or when will you?
yesterday I met with a few of them, at the press conference or whatever, but I'm definitely going to try to get over there today before they get to weights and things like that and try to meet with them. And I'm looking forward to seeing those guys. But I met a handful of them yesterday.
Yeah, good. We have to talk about the state championship game before I let you go. I mean, I cannot believe, as I told you, I'm in Dallas with my daughter after her surgery, but I was listening to the entire thing. And that was another one of those. Every play, every moment, every snap, every foot placement counted in that game. You've had time to reflect on it. Not that you have other things in your mind. As you look back, what are some of your thoughts?
Man, the biggest thing is I don't have any regrets at all. I felt that my players went out like true soldiers. I think in a game of football, for you to be great, sometimes you got to take risks. And I took a huge risk, and it didn't turn out the way I wanted to turn out. But if it would have, I felt like it would have given us an opportunity to win a football game to be a state championship. And you can always go back to situations, even in the past, that you try to learn from and you try to take notes from. you always got to have a foul, how to win a game and also how to lose a game. And
Mhm.
so I have that foul, and so it goes back to when Coach Fred decided to kick a field goal in 6 overtimes. Well he might, well everybody's saying that he shouldn't run the football. Well, I made that same decision against Jinx this year. We kick the field goal and our defense goes out there and it makes them stop. And so I took a huge risk. And we didn't if we got the first down, we won the state championship game.
Yeah.
And so it's I get you kind of got to lean on your team, and
Yeah.
sometimes the ball don't go your way. But you know what? I told my kids before we started this season, before we played that game, I gave it all I had. I will be walking off the football field with my head up high. I'm going to be able to sleep just fine. I
Mhm.
hurt for kids because I know I don't have any regrets in that game. And so, I walked out the field with my head up high. I shook their hand, and I congratulated them the best. And they took a risk well. They went for two. If we
Yeah.
stop, we win. Just point blank period. So that's just what it's about. You got to take risks in life, and that's why Coach Montgomery is one of the best top coaches in Oklahoma football. He take risks and he try to do what's best for his kids, just like I do. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it don't. And so you just learn and you grow from those experiences, and you just got to move forward.
And of course, what Antonio is referring to
Proud
is
of as well.
that fourth down play. Yeah, that fourth down play. And knowing you as I do, you'd make the same call again, and it would be the right call. And I think teams like it when their coaches coach aggressively. It shows confidence in them. It doesn't, like you said, doesn't always work out, but
Mhm.
still, what a moment and what a game. I'm sure that'll happen. I don't know how long it'll be when you'll be able to look at the whole thing and think, man, I'm just privileged to be a part of that game because even though you didn't win it, it was an absolute classic.
Absolutely, and that's what was telling my wife and my family. We did something that's never been done, and I'm excited about my future, and I'm looking forward to continue to break down more barriers and more walls for my family and others as well. So there's no regrets here, Rick. I would do it 100 million times if I can because that's the faith I have in my football players.
Yep.
And that's a great example of the football is a game of inches because it was inches.
Yep.
So
No doubt about that.
inches can cost you a win or loss.
Yep.
And that's
No
what
doubt.
happened. So, but
Last,
and
yes, head high.
head up high, and my players gave me all that they can give me. And so I love them for that, and they forever will be loved.
Last thing is 6A1's changing, shall we say. So Keith Riggs is replaced by Adam Gaylor. We're pretty sure Travis Hill coming to Broken Arrow. You, of course, at Union and Bill back at Owasso. And of course, Lauren Montgomery still where Lauren Montgomery was. Holy cow. Next year is going to be a wild ride, is it not?
It ain't no doubt. It's Oklahoma football is back, and what a great set of coaches that all are head nose and hard nosed people, and I'm looking forward to playing some really good football against these guys and learning from them as well. These are all guys who I look at that are great men, and I love Adam Gaylor. I look Travis Hill. I'm a huge fan of him, and obviously what I think about Coach Blankenship. So
Yeah,
this is awesome.
it is going to be awesome. And apparently, you and I are going to be seeing a lot more of each other. Well, congratulations. You get the big downstairs corner office, and I'll see you there pre-season for our meeting.
Yes, sir. I'll see you soon, brother. Thank you very much.